Welcome to Qualified at the Intersection. So I'm going to be doing probably some more video content because people seem to like it. And given my background and career as a news anchor, it is in my wheelhouse, although I'm going to keep doing writing as well. So today, Qualified at the Intersection, we're going to be talking about these executive orders. And what I title this is Executive Orders and the Return of Legal Inequality, or the New Jim Crow. Now, I know a lot of people think that is extreme to call what is going on now the new Jim Crow, but there are a lot of indicators that that is exactly what it is. And what bothers me is that the media, and I hate to say the mainstream media, because honestly, no media has done a very good job of compiling all of the executive orders as they relate to race and the ways in which these orders are designed to dismantle the hard fought and won and gained rights that African Americans specifically fought for. So this is an ambitious project that I'm working on to do that. When you look here in the newsletter, you will see I have compiled all the executive orders related to race up to April 24th, because tomorrow or the next day there'll probably be another one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk and I'm going to write about each one, kind of outlining what we got going on here. So in my book, Qualified, How Competency Checking and Race Collide at Work, I specifically saw this coming. And I made an analogy between the court in Plessy versus Ferguson, which is the legal case that gave us Jim Crow, and the Roberts Court. And I am concerned that the wrong law making it to the Supreme Court could create a type of what I call a colorblind Jim Crow. So in the book, I have a quote, and it says, it's actually from Chief Justice Henry Billings Brown. It's in his opinion in Plessy versus Ferguson. Again, that's 1896, and that's the case that brought us Jim Crow. But it says, we consider the underlying fallacy of the plaintiff's argument to consist in the assumption that the enforced separation of the two races stamps the colored race with a badge of inferiority. If this be so, it is not by reason of anything found in the act, but solely because the colored race chooses to put that construction upon it. So let me tell you what that means. Basically, what Chief Justice Billings Brown was saying is that, hey, Jim Crow, separate but equal, there's nothing racist about it. And if you think so, that's just because the colored people think that. That sounds so much like these executive orders right now. That, hey, there's nothing discriminatory about these executive orders. If you think so, you're just the one who thinks that. That's not true. But let's dig into these executive orders because, in fact, it is true. So the most recent executive order related to not addressing disparate impact, meaning showing how something negatively impacts African Americans as opposed to other people or other people of color, be it Hispanic or Asian. This is designed to prevent us from being able to identify to the public and to folks at large how the impact or the system is discriminating. And so basically it says, well, if you think that, you just think that's not true. That's the idea of these executive orders, and that's really crazy. And so in the newsletter, I really go into a lot of detail. I actually have bangs now, so they're bothering me a bit. But in the newsletter, I go into a list of how the Black Codes and Jim Crow match up against Trump's executive orders. And so there's this language of neutrality in Jim Crow, and then there's a language of neutrality, or it's meritocracy, and that's the neutrality, meritocracy and fairness in these executive orders. And there's also a control over education and history. So after Reconstruction, Southern states rewrote textbooks. I don't know if people know that. And they controlled the school curriculum to erase achievements and promote white supremacy, the achievements of African Americans. And that's exactly what we are doing right now. We have the executive order to end racial indoctrination. I mean, these they match up, and you can see them down as you look in the newsletter. You have a whole host of these executive orders that are designed to make it harder to prove and show what is happening to you as a person of color, as a woman, as someone who's disabled, regarding discrimination. And so it's basically saying we don't want to hear about it, and we won't believe it, and we're not going to measure it, and don't tell us. So then how is this different from Jim Crow? I mean, how is it fundamentally different? Because I am saying to you, data is saying that Black children are being punished more in school, and there's a disparate impact on Black children. You're telling me that's not relevant. I don't want to know that. I don't want to hear that. That's not true. You can't prove that, right? So what I'm going to be doing this entire week is going through the different executive orders and matching them up and really digging into how they represent a restoration of a type of Jim Crow colorblind situation. No other media outlet is really digging into the devastating impact these executive orders are poised to have should they all stand. And even the executive order that supposedly is supposed to help HBCUs has some nefariousness under it. First of all, they're going to restore excellence as if excellence wasn't already there in HBCUs, and they intend to have some authority or oversight of what they teach. Are we going to teach that we weren't enslaved? Are they going to say we were workers, as textbooks in some states say? I mean, what is it that they intend to do? And then there is something under it where, while at the same time you are making it very hard and hostile for Black people and other people of color who are underrepresented to attend what are called predominantly white institutions. So you're going to make it harder, but you encourage us to go to HBCUs. That reeks of segregation. That literally is back to the time of Jim Crow. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with going to an HBCU. What is wrong when your ultimate aims are resegregation? That's the problem. So take a look in the newsletter. It was really hard to put this together because formatting and everything, but look at the executive orders that I have laid out at the bottom. Look at how they match up with Jim Crow and with the Black codes. And then this week we're going to go through several of the executive orders and really get into a deeper dive as to their impact, their real impact on African Americans in the workplace, in the government, in our daily lives. This is a 10 alarm fire that nobody is really compiling and sharing. And there is in the media a lot of talk about how they are using the Alien Sedition Act to remove people from the country, but there isn't a big outcry about the cumulative impact of these executive orders on essentially trying to gut civil rights legislation and protections specifically aimed at African Americans in the workplace and other people of color. So this is what I am going to do. This takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. So if you appreciate this content, I encourage you to subscribe, have others subscribe, and consider becoming a paid subscriber because there's a lot of benefits to that. So thank you. And yeah, there'll be some more this week.